Methods for solving quadratics are factoring, isolation using square roots, completing the square and quadratic formula. So which method are you most confident in using? Solving quadratics by factoring, solving quadratics by isolation using square roots, solving quadratics by completing the square, solving quadratics by quadratic formula. So factoring. Okay. Which method are you least confident in using? Solving quadratics by factoring, solving quadratic by isolation using square roots, solving quadratics by complete the square, solving quadratics by quadratic formula. Solving quadratics by isolation using square roots. Excellent. Which option shows what quadratics in standard form look like? So which of these options would show that? So be ax squared plus bx plus c. That's the correct answer. So ax squared plus bx plus c. So when to use zero product property, factoring must be equal to zero. Only works in some quadratics. If factoring does not work, then use the other option. Once factored, set factor equal to zero. So in that case, so for this one, 2x minus 7 equals 0 here. 2x equals 7. 2x divided by 2 equals 7 over 2. X equals 7 over 2. Then 3x plus 4 equals 0. Bring 4 to the other side. 3x equals negative 4. 3x divided by 3 equals negative 4 divided by 3. X equals negative 4 over 3. So that's how you do that. You would just rearrange it to get the answer there. So you'd rearrange it to find x. So you always want to solve for x here. You set it equal to 0, solve for x. So set it equal to 0 and solve for x. So use factoring the zero product property to solve x squared plus 2x minus 15. So to do this, you would want to find two numbers that multiply to negative 15 and add to 2. So here that would be 5 and negative 3 would work. So 5 plus negative 3 equals 2. 5 times negative 3 equals negative 15. So we do that here, and then the factors would be 0 equals x plus 5, x minus 3, and then x plus 5 equals 0, x equals negative 5, and then x minus 3 equals 0, x equals 3. So that's how we would do that. So the answer would be x equals negative 5 and x equals 3. Completing the square. Remember f at x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Use when a is equal to 1. Use when b is an even number. So what should be added to both sides of the following equation to complete the square? So 12 divided by 2 squared or 36. So you'd have to take the 12 there, divided by 2 and square it. So that's what you'd have to do to start for the quadratic, for the completing the square. So what will be the perfect square binomial look like from the equation x squared plus 12x equals 5? So yeah, it would be the last one here. So how you do that is x squared plus 12x minus 5. So you bring the 5 over and then group this together there. And the next step is take the 12 divided by 2 and square it. And then you would subtract from that 2. And then, so 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 squared is 36. So it'd be 36 minus 36. You take the minus 36 out of the brackets to be on the right. Now we have this here. And then, so yeah, so two numbers that multiply to 36 and add to 12. Let's figure that out here. That'll be 6 and 6. 6 and 6. 6 times 6 equals 36. 6 plus 6 equals 12. So now we have x plus 6 squared because 2 6's minus 41 equals 0. Same thing, x plus 6 squared equals 41. So that'd be the answer there. So that's how you do that there. So that's how you would complete the square. Isolation or solving with square roots, we'll have the form with ax squared plus c equals 0 or x squared equals c. Remember, you're isolating the variable. So solve the following by isolation. So that would be x equals 5 plus minus square root of 3. Quadratic formula works for all quadratics, great for quadratics with large coefficients. So I'll show how to use this. So of the following quadratic, what are the a, b, and c values of the given function? So I'll show you this here. So the options are these here, but to do this, you would take 4x squared minus 8x minus 3. So you bring the 3 over to the left side. It would be in the form of this. And then a would be 4, b would be -8, c would be -3. So that would be the answer there. So that's how you would find the a, b, and c for this equation. Yeah. And then, yeah, so that's how you'd find a, b, and c for this equation. So yeah, a equals 4, b equals -8, c equals -3. then how would you feel is the best way of solving this? So we can try to test out methods. We could try to test out, are there two numbers that multiply to -54 and add to -3? So that's the first question we can ask here, and there might not be. So there might not be. We may have to do the quadratic formula. If there aren't two numbers that multiply -54 and add to -3, we may have to use the quadratic formula. Which is option do you feel is the best to solve the following function? So I would say quadratic formula here. I would say that's the best option. So x squared plus 2x plus 9 equals 0. A is 1, B is 2, C is 9. So I'd recommend that. And then you'd plug it into this equation. So you'd have to plug in all those numbers into this equation, which is the quadratic formula. And I'll plug that all in. So x equals -2 plus minus square root of 2 squared minus 4, 1, 9 divided by 2, 1. So we do that. And then, yeah, use as many brackets as possible. So I recommend that just to make sure that there's no mistake. So this is how you do this. And then I'll simplify it. So x equals -2 plus minus square root of 4 minus 36. Because 4 times 1 times 9 is 36. And then divide that by 2. X equals -2 plus minus square root of, so 4 minus 36 minus 32 divided by 2. So this is no solution for this one, because we cannot take square root of a negative number. So that's the problem here. We can't take square root of a negative number. So that's how you'd use the quadratic formula, put those numbers in here. And you can take a screenshot of that through when you pause the video. So what option do you think is best to solve the following? 4x plus 2 squared equals 8. So for this, I would recommend you could expand it and then do the quadratic formula if you wish. So 4x plus 2 squared equals 8. You could expand this through the quadratic formula. So x plus 2 squared is just x plus 2 equals 8. And then expanding x plus 2, that'll be x squared plus 4x plus 4 here equals 8. Then bring 4 in, 4x squared plus 16x plus 16 equals 8. 4x squared plus 16x plus 16 minus 8 equals 0. 4x squared plus 16x plus 8 equals 0. And then we could factor 4 out. 4x squared plus 4x plus here 2 equals 0. So we can't do factoring here because it won't work factoring, because we can't find two numbers that multiply to 2 and add to 4. We can't do that. So let's do quadratic formula. X equals minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Let's do that. And then let's find out what a, b, c is for the equation users. So a is 4, b is 16, c is 8. So we plug that all into the quadratic formula here. So -16 plus minus square root 16 squared minus 4, 8 divided by 2, 4 here. So then x equals -16 plus minus square root 16 squared is, I believe, 324. It's 256. Yeah, 256. Okay, 256 minus 16, 128 divided by 8. So x equals negative 16 plus minus square root. It's 256 minus 128, 8, 28, 128. And then divide that by 8. And then we do square root of 128. Square root of 128 is 11.31. X equals negative 16 plus minus 11.31 divided by 8. And then there would be two answers to negative 16 plus 11.3818 divided by 8. X equals negative 16 minus 11.31 divided by 8. And then those would be the two answers. So you're always given two answers because it's plus minus. So negative 16 plus 11.31 divided by 8 is negative 0.58, negative 0.59, and then minus negative 3.41. Yeah, so that's how you do that. That's how you use quadratic formula. So which option do you feel is best possible for the following function? So I would say quadratic formula in this case. That's just my view on that. And let's plug this in here. So let's do x equals minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So x equals negative 13 plus minus square root of 13 squared minus 4, 3, 4 divided by 2, 3 here. And then we can simplify it here. So like I said, more brackets the better, just to make sure there's no issue here. So x equals negative 13 plus minus square root of 13 squared is 169 here, so 169. And then minus 48 divided by 6. And then x equals negative 13 plus minus square root of 121, I believe, divided by 6. Yeah, 121, 11. So square root of 121 is 11. So 11 divided by 6. So we have two answers, negative 13 plus 11 divided by 6. X equals negative 13 minus 11 divided by 6. Here, this would be negative 2 divided by 6, negative 1 over 3. Here would be negative 24 divided by 6 equals negative 4. Yeah. So that's how you do that. Those are the two x-intercepts here. And then which option do you believe is the best option for the following function? 3x squared plus 13x plus 5 equals 0. I would say quadratic formula again. And I'll let you do that as on your own, just putting that in the quadratic formula. But yeah, we got through a lot of content here.